Hello, hello. Hope you guys doing fantastic today. So I'm making this video. Kinda wasn't planned, but many, and I repeat, many people under the previous video and on my Discord and on stream were asking like how to build this character exactly, like the passive tree and stuff like that, everything. So this is not going to be a build guide, but in this video I'm going to give you a quick showcase what you can expect at this point. I'm like, I've been farming maps for about 5 hours now outside of the campaign, something like that. Level 78, excuse me. Just finished my third ultimatum, like the six ascendancy points for maximum resistances. And what I can tell you is I've been farming around tier 7, tier 8 maps, something like that, and it feels good. So let's jump into the showcase, and I'm going to, after the map, I'm going to explain, gear, what you should go for, the passive tree real fast. This is not, once again, this is not going to be a full build guide because the build is just not ready for that yet. But you can expect that in the future. And I'll be basically every day or every 2 days, I'll be giving you an update how the character progresses and how it feels. So let's jump into it. We have a tier 7 map here with 56% more monster life. Which map we're gonna do? Maybe this one with Delirium on top of that. I don't know what I'll be farming yet. I did like, I don't know, 10, 12 breaches maybe. Let me tell you, Breach feels a little bit different compared to last league. Let's just put it this way. All right, but for now, I've been using pretty much the same thing. So, leap slamming into monsters, and then exploding the packs with. It feels very nice. Exploding the packs with Bone Shatter and Impact Shockwave support on top of that to have like double explosions, right? It feels very nice because the build, generally speaking, needs very little to work. You don't need crazy weapons. As a matter of fact, you don't even need physical damage weapons early on. What you can use is elemental damage weapons, which are going to be much cheaper, right? You don't need to worry about that technically, about like high fizz, because I don't even use Avatar of Fire right now, so all that stuff is not going to be converted. Avatar of Fire is something that I will definitely want to use in the future, but for now this is like the early interaction of the build, so we don't need to worry about that. So as much as the damage on the weapons and on your rings is high, then you're going to be doing absolutely fantastic damage. Like it's not going to be bad. Perfect Strike hits like a truck still. So yeah. So I'm using this. Later on, what I plan on doing is I plan on switching to Mace Strike, right? Just like before, because I do believe that Mace Strike later on is just going to feel a little bit better. You can support Mace Strike with double AoE, the more AoE and the more AoE support gems. The one being Magnified Effect, and the second one being the one that gives you more area of effect at the cost of accuracy. And guess what? We don't care about losing accuracy because we have Resolute Technique, so we always hit no matter what. So we don't need to worry about that. There's more difficult, more tanky monsters, just Perfect Strike and boom. Pretty much you're gonna one-shot everything, or like two-hit everything with Perfect Strike. Right before the recording, I found a Greater Jeweler Orb, so now I'm sitting on a 5 link, so my damage increased quite a bit. And the good news is that there is enough supports to basically fully support Perfect Strike for very high damage, right? So we have Window of Opportunity. I'm going to talk about it later, but the nerfs to Window of Opportunity didn't really change much. It still feels good in my opinion. So yeah, it just looks like this. I'm going to need to backtrack after that because I already see the rare monsters. Maybe the checkpoints are going to help when it comes to that. The boss in this area is going to be. I haven't fought this guy yet. As you can see, a single hit, stunned immediately, and I didn't really invest into stun much. Warcry. I really need to invest into Warcry nodes next because they have like absolutely devastating damage boost. And with 90 all resistances, as long as you don't take very high physical damage hits or chaos hits, you don't take damage. You do not take damage. Perhaps some of you watched my defenses video from the patch 0.1, which I uploaded, I don't know, 3 months ago. When it comes to list of defenses that you're supposed to build, all resistances, maximum resistances, were at like top spot, and that hasn't really changed. Maximum resistances in both PoE 1 and PoE 2 are absolute top tier defense. And the difference from going from 75% all resistances to 90% all resistance is 2.5 times more tankiness. I am not kidding. Is there a checkpoint here? There is. I'm not kidding. 2.5 times more. So compared to a character, let's just assume that I had 90 all resistances right now, right? Compared to a character that has 75 resistance, I basically have about 7,000 health. Compared to a character like that, I have about 7,000 health. So like, if I get hit by elemental damage, they don't do damage, right? At this tier of the map, they just don't do damage. And of course, in the future, we're gonna have way more life than that. I expect something maybe around 5.5, maybe 6,000 health on this character. Once I have decent gear. So yeah, something like that. All right, map is completed. Let's jump into the explanation on stuff. I don't plan that to be very long video because once again, the purpose of this video is to just give you guys an idea what am I doing so you can copy yourself and play this character if you're struggling with whatever else, because I do feel like Warrior is stronger, possibly the strongest character in the game right now, the strongest class. Most likely stronger than Amazon because it's way tankier and it clears areas very nicely. So yeah. So Mace Strike right now empty. Perfect Strike if you have a 3-link only, not a, excuse me, if you have a 4-link only, not a 5-link like I do. I would say that the best supports right off the bat are going to be Window of Opportunity is like the best. Conk Effect, because the less area is not really a big problem. You're just going to hit whatever is in front of you anyway. Primal Armament, don't worry that Primal Armament only adds like 15% more damage, because Perfect Strike converts more damage to fire. The regular hit converts 40%, but the Perfect Strike converts, I believe, 80%. And I'm not sure if we can find that somewhere over here, but I'm pretty sure that was the case unless they changed it. Hold on, now I'm actually interested. Let me see. How could you possibly see that? Oh, there we go. Yeah, there it is. Attack damage 1400%, by the way, at level 21. But the 80% physical damage increase means that this Primal Armament gem basically gives you 20% more damage. So absolutely fantastic. And again, Window of Opportunity, Conk Effect. If you have 5 links, then close combat later on. We'll see, but there will be options, right? This is what I use for now. Bone Shatter with Magnified Effect, I think the best gem. Then Impact Shockwave. These two are mandatory in my opinion. And then I added Fire Infusion for more damage, right? 25% more damage, basically. Very simple. Infernal Cry with Premeditation for more damage when you Warcry. Raging Cry to get more rage near bosses. And maybe you saw, but when I used Warcry, the damage boost against the boss was absolutely devastating. The hit of the Empowered by Warcry Perfect Strike was absolutely devastating with these, like, literally, like, meme weapons, I would say. Like, these are like 1 exalt weapons, right? This one is like 81 to 120 damage with some fire damage and +4 to all skill, +4 to melee skill, right? This is just a meme, right? And with these weapons, and they're one-handed to begin with. And with these weapons, with Warcry, I hit this boss for like, I don't know, 300, 400,000, something like that, with the Warcry buff. So Warcry, definitely very important. And then you can use Enraged Warcry. You could also use the support that gives you chance not to consume Warcry charges. But I think that this support would work better if you had already these nodes. I definitely need to spec into them soon because these nodes are absolutely devastating. Amazing nodes, right? You get 48% increased damage by empowered attacks, and then on top of that you get 2 instead of 1, which is huge damage boost to these nodes. So I'm definitely going to invest into them soon. I'm pretty sure next. Yeah, because there's like not much else I can invest into. Next up, we have Leap Slam. And now, important note, before you get Leap Slam, just use Rolling Slam. Rolling Slam with Overpower and with Brink. The moment you can get Brink, you start using Brink. I believe it's support that requires a tier 2. Let me check, actually. So I don't want to mislead you. Brink. Yeah, tier 2. So the moment you get Brink, you put it in. And this means that you can't fully stun. And this what basically this is what it's enabling this combination. What enables this combination. Because with this you can't fully stun enemies, which means that when you leap slam on them or rolling slam on them, they will not consume immediately the stun, and you can explode them with Bone Shatter. This combination is going to be relevant once we get to Mace Strike, because with Mace Strike we'll be just able to, like, just kill everything around us, and it doesn't matter. But with this combination, when we're talking about this combo, Brink with Overpower is what makes it work, right? And then I added Holy Descent. The reason why I'm not adding like a damage support here is because it was doing too much damage. It was one-shotting monsters, white monsters, when I was landing on them with one-handed weapons. Like bad one-handed weapons, right? It was one-shotting monsters. So what I did instead is I added Holy Descent. Every time I land, I get Consecrated Ground around me. This is useful for two reasons. First of all, Consecrated Ground is a very powerful buff that gives you 5% regen while you're standing on it. But secondly, it reduces the effect of curses by 50%. And that is very good this patch, because curses, the modifiers on curses on maps got massively stronger. For example, the temporal change, I think this is a bug, but I think, yeah, it's probably a bug. But for example, the temporal change curse that slows your action speed, slows you down, went from 7% to 22%. They buffed it 3 times over. So if you land and you have this Consecrated Ground buff, it's only turns into 11%, right? So it's not that bad. But when it's 22%, then already slow warrior is just like, it's like slow as ass. So this is it. And then I'm using Overwhelming Presence for being able to apply ailments and stuns even easier on nearby enemies, and Berserk for increased rage effect. Self-explanatory, right? Just more damage. It doesn't matter what links you have here. You can put both in the same aura, and you use Cannibalism. They nerfed it by like 50%. It was 4%, but it doesn't matter. It's still absolutely mandatory on every warrior build, in my opinion. It still basically makes you permanently on full HP as long as you don't get one shot. And this character pretty much will not get one shot. So that's amazing. And then 1% regen additionally. You could put something else here if you wanted. 100% your choice, right? So that's when it comes to gems. Items. Immediately I'm going to talk about items that you're supposed to be getting during campaign, but that's honestly very simple. So during campaign, generally speaking, once you get your first passives in Act 2, which should be these ones, like all you're looking for is ruby rings, items with fire resistance, and as much armor as you can get. If you're gonna get as much armor as you can get and fire resistance, which will translate into cold and lightning at the same time, and on top of that some health on your gear, then you're not going to die during campaign. You're not gonna have problems. Because during campaign, if you have armor, decent amount of armor, and so physical damage mitigation and resistances, then your face is going to be pretty, right? You're not going to have problems, any problems whatsoever. Outside of campaign, of course, now my gear, it's a little bit better, but what I have is one-handed maces. I'm going to talk about where you should think about speccing into two-handers, but this is when we're going to get to passive tree. So one-handed maces with some physical damage, some fire damage, and plus level of all melee skills are probably the best mods on these. The reason why one-handers are better early on than two-handers at the same time, in my opinion, is because they're faster. So with two-handed weapons, your perfect strike is going to be really slow unless you add something like faster attacks, for example, for 20% more speed, right, on them. With one-handers, it's totally acceptable, and on top of that, you can get faster weapons than that. You can get attack speed on them. It's going to be even faster, right? You can get some attack speed on the tree as well, which I do not do. I don't have, but yeah. These are pretty much weapons, armor. I'm going to talk about ascendancy, I guess. This is the first 2 points I invested into. The other 2 points, which you can get in Act 3, so very early, is this. And what I did is I basically started using white armor, and I put this and this. This for physical damage reduction works fantastically well. You can definitely see a pretty big drop-off in physical damage taken that you're going to receive, and 75% fire resistance. That makes it so that if you are unlucky during campaign, it's even less relevant because you have a massive bulk of fire resistance on your chest. So basically, in Act 3, before that, I had some low resistance, just like everybody else, right? But in Act 3, when I finished my second trial, so ultimatum, I got this, and I basically skyrocketed to 75 resistance all. And that's it. Like you're not taking damage from elements during campaign. Because campaign is balanced around having like, a little bit of resistance, not 75. So that's it. You just get that, and campaign is easy. The best part about it is you don't even need to worry about chest, right? That's it. You have white chest, so like you don't care about finding good rare or unique, just white chest, and that's all there is to it. So that's it. And after that, just recently, today, as a matter of fact, before the stream and before recording this video, I got Forge and Flame for absolute huge, insane boost to your resistances, maximum resistances. You might be wondering why this is 88, 89, 89. Is because I think this is bugged, but it might be just me. It doesn't really make any difference. But these nodes here that give you +1 to resistance, these are in the formula more important than this for some reason. I don't think that this is the way it is in PoE 1. But for some reason they're more important, so I get +1 extra here and +1 extra here over fire resistance, right? Doesn't really matter. If they're gonna fix it, doesn't matter. If they're not gonna fix it, also doesn't matter, right? It's just we want to get to 290 fire anyway, so yeah. And the remaining 2 points are very simple. We're probably going to be we're for sure going to boost this white armor even further, probably with these two. 20% increased strength is going to be amazing, and 15% increased maximum life is also going to be amazing. With after the final like ultimatum or like trial of Sakema, whatever you want to call it, this is when we're going to start getting very, very bulky with life on our items, and with strength on our items. This is when we're gonna start getting like 5k plus life. So with 75% chaos resistance, with 90 all rest, and with a solid amount of armor from items, and on top of that from this mini Cloak of Flames, we're going to be very tanky, very tanky. And also that means that we don't need to invest too much into defenses on the tree. We can mostly focus on just literally adding as much AoE and damage as humanly possible, and that's exactly what I'll be doing. So this is kind of, having such strong defensive ascendancy automatically means that you can invest more into offense. Many people kind of get baited like, oh, this ascendancy has no damage. Yeah, you can get massive defenses much easier, and then you can invest the remainder of your points in like damage, and that kind of evens out, right? So it's not really a big problem. But I kind of did things out of order. We got this. Then helmet, very simple. Every piece of gear that I have is pretty much life and chaos resistance, whatever I can find it. Here I believe as well, yep, life, strength, chaos resistance, life, strength. Well, these boots are atrocious, but many pieces of my gear are just not good whatsoever. But generally speaking, what you want is getting as much life as possible, and preferably armor for physical damage mitigation, because your fire resistance is going to be good once you finish the third trial. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Rings. I bought this one I think for like 5 exalts or something. It will be nice, especially early on your rings, to get some high amount of flat damage. Even better if it's fire, right? Um, so if you can find something like that, that's going to be absolutely fantastic. I believe I bought this one for like a few exalts. It had fire damage, life, and no, it was a blue ring. It had fire damage and life. And then I slammed it a few times. I didn't get anything interesting apart from fire resistance. So this is a pretty decent ring for me right now, right? Because the more fire resistance, the better. Because your other resistances go up, and at the same time you get more maximum fire resistance from this. So very nice. And chaos resistance, same story, right? Every piece of gear you want the same stuff. Life, strength, chaos resistance, fire resistance, wherever you can find it, and armor. That's pretty much everywhere. I got really lucky. I found Infernal Clasp right outside of the campaign when I started mapping. So this is absolutely fantastic belt. You don't need you don't need to get lucky, and you don't need this belt to get that extra 5 maximum fire resistance. You don't need that. Even without this, you're going to be sitting at 83 fire resistance, which is still a lot. You're going to be 2 times tankier than any other character at this level anyway, or even tankier than that. So an even tankier if you want to use, for example, shield instead of two-handers. Not something I recommend because I think the character is tanky enough, but yeah, something you could do. But if you don't have this belt, or if you can't afford it, then of course you can do rare belt with life, and once again fire and chaos resistances and strength, stuff like that, right? If the other stat is not available or is too expensive, then just get the other one, and that's basically how it works. Amulet, my amulet is absolutely pathetic. The only useful stat that it provides is basically maximum life and 6 chaos res, so I need to exchange that soon. What I'm going to be getting though is most likely, once again, just like the warrior last patch, the story likes to repeat itself. The amulet from Zov's blood. There we go. The amulet from Zesht, right? These amulets should be pretty cheap. I checked yesterday. Yesterday already there were amulets for like 20 exalts. So this is quickly going to become like a 1 exalt amulet, something tells me. And it's a very nice amulet. Alright, when it comes to passive tree, we're going to go over real fast. The great thing about this build is basically you don't have to ever respec. Basically ever. I just started going this way, then get brutal, then get more melee damage and area, then get this armor from body armor, boom, relentless, then just go this way. And once again, this is what I'm using for now. It's not hyper optimized whatsoever. There will be updates. Keep that in mind. Area here, boom, boom, boom. We're going this way. We're using one-handers, so I added these one-handed, damage with one-handed weapons nodes. Boom, this way. Aftershocks, beef, a little bit, protection against critical hits, strength. Very nice, very, very nice nodes. Boom, this way. Boom, unbending, boom. Resolute technique. This is amazing because we have to never worry about critting anything. This huge cluster for area, absolutely mandatory. And going this way. You don't have to take these if you don't want to. You can spec into some other damage nodes, like for example these here, right? So some damage over here. There is damage everywhere. So if you don't want these, then you can get any other damage nodes, right? There's some damage nodes here and stuff like that. There's some damage nodes here and so on, right? Boom, boom, boom. Strength with strength scaling, brute strength. This, of course. Area here. Some fire penetration for more damage for perfect strike. And this way, rage on hit is very useful. Because while mapping, you're going to have maximum rage pretty much all the time. Because we're warrior, we're slow, we are getting hit. And on top of that, gives us additional armor. So this cluster is pretty good in my opinion. Probably I'm not going to take this late game. But for now, pretty useful. And even more area here. And melee damage. And of course, blood magic. Don't rush towards blood magic too fast. In my opinion, blood magic is worth it at about level, I don't know, 55, 60. When you're getting level 13, level 14 gems, something like that. And the leap slam starts costing quite a lot of mana. Same for Infernal Warcry. Something I didn't mention, Infernal Warcry, absolutely just keep it at lowest level possible. Level, I believe 5 is the first time you can get it. I improved it once by accident, but level 6 is fine also. There is no point to improve it further because the mana cost is going to increase drastically, and that's it. You don't really get much out of it, right? The only thing that increases with level is Warcry speed. That's whatever. We use it once every like 7 seconds, so that doesn't matter. So yeah, don't take this too early, and the same for this. Don't take it too early if you don't need to, because for the very long time I had enough accuracy to have a 100% chance to hit. So eventually I just took that, but you don't have to like rush towards it. The most important things early on is just to get some damage. So getting these nodes, some area here, this. Just go like I'm going right here, and you're going to be fine, right? And then of course later on we're going to spec into Giant's Blood and Avatar of Fire like late game to fully utilize the fire damage and fire penetration that we're gonna have. One important thing I didn't talk about is of course the empty jewel sockets that you have. You want to get maximum fire resistance with other useful stats. For me, I bought the cheapest possible jewels for like 1x or a few x each with maximum fire resistance and damage penetrates fire resistance. For this one, and this one is really low roll, and this one as well. In the future, I'm going to update you on what upgrades you could potentially do here, right? And that's pretty much it. That's more or less how you're supposed to build a character. If you have any questions, any more questions, I'm going to answer everything. Just ask down below. Also, the down below is the link for my stream. I'll be streaming right after I upload this. So once again, any questions, you can join the stream, and I'm going to try to answer as many questions as I can. One more thing, I have the very bare bones Mobalytics planner ready, and I'm going to link that in the description as well. Not much is like explained there. Just you're gonna have a gem setup here and my items, current items, and what you're supposed to be getting, and yeah, like and passive tree, right? So if someone wants to just like look at it quickly, what I was doing, the planner is going to be there also for you to use. And that's pretty much it. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I'll be making, as I mentioned before, I'll be making updates every day, every 2 days, with what improvements I've been doing and the progression, so you can keep on going with your warriors as well. In my opinion, the best class in the game right now. But you know, people were saying that the warrior was the worst class in the game in the previous patch, and I still very much enjoyed playing it. So it is what it is. All right, thank you very much, guys, and see you next time.